What is up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button, and if you're listening on YouTube, hit the like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into this conversation. This is going to be about marriage, and I want to make this as brief as possible, but I'm actually inspired to talk about this because of a comment that I got on some commentary that I did recently about Shaunie Henderson. See how I almost went back there? But yeah, she was married to Shaq for so long, and even, after divorcing, carried his last name, which is fine. I don't have an issue with someone that chooses to do that, especially when you have children with the person and you've had it for so long. So you just kind of get used to calling that person that. But when she married her new husband, I talked about that, and I felt like he was an opportunist. I still do. I still feel that way. So we'll see where her relationship goes, and I'm not sitting here wishing anything on her. But I'm circling back to talk about marriage because someone left a comment, and I want to respond to that, as well as, again, just talk a little bit about Shaunie saying that she never loved Shaq. Now, I have no issue with someone, especially a woman, because let's face it, a lot of the norms of society have been flipped and reversed, and some things, actually, it's a good thing that they have flipped and reversed, okay? Or no longer exists. And I'm not going to go into the laundry list of all of those things, but ultimately, I still believe that marriage, when, a man and a woman are married, a woman gets married because, not just because, a woman wants to feel protected and secured and loved. And a man, that marries a woman wants to feel that they are being, loved, satisfied, and, and have someone that's there to support them and take care of them too. It's supposed to be, not two broken people getting together to make a whole. Like you hear some people say, I found my better half. Well, that's a lot of the problems with these relationships and these marriages, because you have broken people getting together to try to make a whole, and you should be a whole person. And I get it. Not everybody is whole when they get married, because we're not perfect people, but you strive to get there. So you also shouldn't rely on your significant other to make you happy. We're all responsible for our own happiness, but I'm definitely not saying that your significant other should make you sad, make you cry, make you angry, hurt you. No, I'm not saying those things either, but I don't believe that your significant other is responsible for you being happy. But this person made a comment and said, what exactly is new about women marrying for security and men marrying for looks? I'm just saying, no shocker. Well, one, I never said that. But two, I don't believe that should be the only thing. And that's why a lot of relationships don't last, because if that's the only thing that's there, then no, it shouldn't be just for that. So all you pretty much have at that point in time is a transaction. So let's just say that the women are prostitutes and the men are pimps, or the women are HOEs and the men are, tricks. I don't know. It's just, to me, when people just make marriage about women married for security, men married for looks, if you don't have that connection there, like true, genuine love, then you wind up with resentment. Sometimes you stay in it longer than others, but that's not supposed to be what it is all about. So for all of this time that has gone by, and now Shaunie is in a new relationship, which I believe he married for security. I believe he married her for security. And that's what my main issue was when I talked about it. I felt like, did she go from being the user to being used? It's, yeah, okay, you wrote a book and you want to sell copies, so it has to have something that's going to be like, ooh, I need to read that. But you have had all of these children with this man. You were in this relationship with him for all of these years. Shaq. And I definitely am not here saying that he was the best man to her. And he even came out and said, I get it. I wouldn't have been in love with me either. But to have never been in love, I get it. If you love the man and he did a lot of things that hurt you, that you have been hurt so bad that you just kind of fell out of it and the love isn't there anymore. I definitely would have had more respect for her if she said that versus saying, I never loved him. So ultimately, you're just in my personal opinion, you're just coming out and saying that, yeah, I just got with him for the money. So yeah, we know that a lot of people do that. I'm not even saying that that is okay. I'm not one of those people that believes that. Sorry. Just like I don't believe that every man cheats, and I don't believe that every woman had a whole phase. You know, like, it's crazy when I hear people make blanketed statements like that. It's not fair, and it's not true. It's not. Everyone has issues, 100%, but not every man's issue is the fact that they don't know how to keep their ding-a-ling in their pants, and every time they're in a relationship, they find themselves screwing somebody else outside of it. That's not every man's issue, but every man has an issue. Not all women were hoes at one point in their life. Not all women have slept around. Not all women have done that. But every woman has an issue. Period. Some women's issues is they don't know how to handle their finances. Some women's issues is they just have issues with trusting people. Some women's issues are their confidence level and they don't ever see themselves as looking attractive or whatever. Like, every person has issues, but not all of the issues are the same. So I hate when I hear people make those blanketed statements, but I'm not out here windmilling in comment sections I'm just not. One, I'm tired. I don't have the strength or energy to put all of my efforts in trying to convince people that that is the truth. I just know what is the truth, and I allow people to believe whatever they want to believe, period. If you believe that all women had a whole phase and all men cheat, then believe that. That's on you. But I'm simply saying that it's not true, and I don't agree with it. But to say that, there's nothing new about women marrying for security and men marrying for looks, nothing wrong with that as long as you're not just getting in a marriage just because the woman is hella sexy and you will have a trophy wife, or you're marrying the man just because he can take care of you financially. I don't think it is a good thing. I don't think it's smart. And not all women secure the bag. Look at Portia out here right now. Portia, I know a lot of people are team Portia and they believe that she's going to rise up and just be on top in this situation with her going through this divorce with Simon. But she clearly married that man simply because of what he had. It's never a smart thing to just do that. Some women do it and they wind up getting on they get the short end of the stick. And then some women, they wind up, getting on top. But you never know. You never know what is going to be before you in life. So I just don't think that it's a wise thing to do, but that's just me. But I definitely am not out here advocating for people to be in struggle situations and relationships, getting with a man that is terrible to you, is not taking care of you, can't take care of you financially, and you're doing the Tyler Perry suggestion of getting with a man who can only take you out to dinner every once in a while, take you to Cracker Barrel every once in a while, Applebee's every once in a while, and maybe pay a light bill here or there, but you're working, you're financially secure, and you're taking care of you as long as you're... No, I don't believe in that either. And I talked about that before as well. So I don't want anyone to... I don't care what anyone believes about what I think, but I'm just saying I am not out here advocating for people to be in struggle situations and relationships, but I just don't think that it was wise for Shaunie to come out here to say, I never loved him. I was never in love with him. I never loved him. I never was in love. Like, what? That's crazy. And to me, it makes her look even more unlikable in my sight. I never was one of these people that was always into Basketball Wives. I did watch it from the beginning because I thought it was just, a new thing, interested to see what was going on. But over the years, she just, to me, seemed like a pretty nasty chick. And so to see her go from that to now being this first lady, this pastor's wife, this man that got with her, I believe, for a come up, an opportunist, getting him even more exposure. Some people may feel like, yeah, he didn't need it. He already had a big church and he was already endorsed by Pastor Bishop, whatever his title is, T.D. Jakes. Okay, that's like saying that people who are rich and wealthy don't want more money. Do you not think that he didn't want even more exposure? He's gotten rid of his second wife, and now I can have a third that has a name already. Jackpot. Child, please. So listen, I just wanted to talk about that briefly. And then another thing I just wanted to touch on when it comes to marriage. Marlon Wayans. Sometimes these people, they come out and they say these things. It's like, are you all just void of intelligent conversation and intelligent things that you can really talk about with regards to things that are really going on in the world and in society? And I get it. You want to back off of things that could be seen as controversial because you don't want to get canceled. But some things it's just like, we didn't need to hear that. So Marlon Wayans says he never got married because he didn't want his mother to be jealous of another woman. What? 51-year-old Marlon Wayans made the comment in an interview with the New York Times. He said that he didn't want his mother, Elvira Althea, to feel jealous. I never got married because I never wanted my mother to be jealous of a woman. I never wanted my mother to feel second to any woman. She died at 81 in 2020, and he said that his mother's death broke him, and it said, "It shattered me into a million pieces because that was my girl." And he said that his mother was very needy. So your mother's gone on to glory, we hope. But seriously, that's the problem. That is a huge problem. And I could, Lord, I could talk about this for days, but I'm not going to. But there are mothers out there like that, I feel like it is a disgusting attachment where they don't want any other female to come in and invade their space of the relationship that they have with their son or sons, if they have multiple of them. And that's not biblical at all. And a lot of those people, they claim to believe in the Bible. A lot of them do. Now, if they were just out here straight up atheists or a witch or, or whatever, anything other than supposedly being a Christian and believing in the Bible, I would be like, okay, well, I guess that's their beliefs. They don't want another woman to come in and invade their space that they have and relationship that they have with their son. But if you claim to be a biblical person, then you should know that there's a scripture in the Bible where it says that a man is to leave his mother and father and cleave to his wife. So your relationship, you not saying that they should dispose of their mothers and never speak to them ever again. But your relationship and that attachment connection, you should always have a connection, but that attachment is only supposed to be for that period of time until they have grown up, they've gone on to live their own lives. And if they do, get in a relationship and ultimately get married with someone else, then you still love them, but causing problems in that man's relationship with their wife or their significant other is disgusting. And she probably was that type of person, and he allowed it. And then she's gone. He's in his 50s, and he's dealing with baby mama child support situations and issues. That's stupid. And so if he had put his foot down, not saying he had to be disrespectful, but if he had put his foot down with his mom, then maybe his life would have turned out differently. I don't know a whole lot about his life, but sometimes these men, they get at that point of being in that middle age space of like right now, he's in his 50s. And he's probably living in regret, wishing that he did have like a real relationship and possibly did get married, because as much as a lot of these, especially black guys, are out here talking negatively about marriage or listening to people who do talk negatively about marriage and about just having one companion, a partner. A lot of them really want that. And then, unfortunately, they get to a point where they're in there, if they make it to that age, 60s and 70s, then it's too late. And you're wishing that you had somebody that would be there to help you when your hip bone is squeaking, or you need help getting to the toilet, or you need help getting your Depends on, or whatever. You know what I mean? And then you're living in this regret. So I feel like he's living in some regret right now, but that there was nothing honorable about not getting married because he didn't want his mom to have to deal with jealousy issues. If she was dealing with that, that was her issue. That was her problem. And you should have paid for her to get the help that she needed. And that's a problem with a lot, not all, but a lot of these mothers. Nobody's ever good enough for their child. And then they go to church all the time. But they don't get clinical therapy and help for their minds. And it's just sad. So to hear that, it's like, I don't know if he was expecting people to give him applause for that, but I just was sitting there shaking my head like, you have got to be kidding me right now. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to talk about that and get your thoughts on it so you can let me know how you feel in the comment section. Thanks so much for being here, liking, and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.